Happy Sunday, everyone, and welcome to Always Accurate Weekly. I am your host, Hope Murray. Today, I am super excited to kick off part one of a two-part series entitled Welcome Home. I am honored to share the platform today with a special guest. She is a fellow graduate of Swansea High School and now the principal of Swansea High School, Dr. Marcia SeaWright. Dr. SeaWright, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for allowing me to be here.
It's a pleasure. I tell you, it is so much fun. I'm so excited about this.
I'm excited. I feel your excitement, so I'm becoming even more excited.
There we go. So I trust that your day was off to a good start.
It's off to a good start. Just had prom last night with Swansea High School, and so it went well, and so off to another great start to end this weekend.
There we go. So let's get the ball rolling here. So let's bridge the gap. In 1995, you're a graduate of Swansea High. In 2020, you accept the principal job at Swansea High School. So tell me a little bit about your journey from the graduation stage to the principal's office.
Okay, so it has certainly been a journey, so that is a proper way to describe it. I left Swansea High School in 1995, went on to University of South Carolina in Columbia, spent my time there, and then I had the decision to make a career choice, and it was that of coming back home at that point. And I served as a biology teacher at Swansea High School for about 4 years. And then I was invited with the opportunity to come out of the classroom as Swansea High School's first literacy coach. And so that journey consisted of working with teachers, training teachers, providing professional development, and having an impact on student achievement in a greater way than the classroom. And so I did that for about 12 years. After about 12 years, I had learned and grown and had varied experiences that led me into the decision for administration. And so I left home and went into Lexington School District 1 and served as an assistant principal at W.J. Keenan High School and also W.G. Hayward Middle School. And so that journey lasted for about 4 years, and here it is. I was granted the opportunity and blessed to come back home in 2020 to serve as the proud principal of none other than Swansea High School.
And we're so glad to have you.
And I am so glad to be there.
So, when I think back, I don't think I knew you were at Swansea before, but I forgot, actually. So you said you were a biology teacher before.
Yes. I started my career at Swansea High School.
Wow, that's information I definitely didn't know.
So I spent 16 years there.
Wow.
Yes.
Good information.
Yes.
So, there's secondary, there's early childhood. Why high school?
So high school is where I have found that it is like my niche. When I think about my journey, I've always had a passion for leadership and education and a strong desire to have an impact on the lives of children. And so when I think back to my time at Swansea High School, I was involved in a number of leadership organizations, and it gave me the opportunity to lead. Going on to USC, same thing. I was able to lead, serving as a resident advisor with what I think would be much like high school students because it was in a freshman dorm for about 4 years. And so they are also dealt with students, and really they were students at the freshman level. And then I came back home and taught in the high school. And so just being amongst the adolescents is something unique about it because they're very independent and they're at that stage where they're trying to make a lot of decisions. And so I'm able to, I feel like, move them a little bit further along than with the younger grades. They're young adults and, again, faced with a lot of decisions. And so from past experiences, I feel like I have, a better chance at impacting their lives and making a positive difference.
That's very good. When we can look back at our history, our personal history, when we think about what we wanted to do when we were younger, and actually living it out, going to college, getting the degrees or the education, and then bring it, back to the actual real world. But I'm just so excited that you brought it back home. There's so much into that. Bringing it back home is awesome. You know the community, the Gaston Swansea community. You know them, you know the students. And even though you may not know them directly, because you have stake in the actual community, it means so much. So even with when I think about the children, a lot of them now, a lot of them are missing out on crucial times, and then we have the pandemic, and a lot of them are saying, man, I don't know which way I want to go. I don't feel like I got a full year of instruction. So what are you doing in your schools to make sure that despite the fact of this pandemic that, the lesson is definitely getting learned and that they are still prepared when they go out?
Sure. And so we cannot neglect our role and our responsibilities. When we accept the role of an educator, we still have to do all that we can to ensure that our students are successful. And teaching is very important. So understanding that we are in a pandemic and there are changes and there are no books to tell you how to do this. I've had a number of experiences in the field of education, but this is one that I have not had. And there are no go-tos. And so we are doing a number of things. Again, it's ever changing. Today we may be in a phase where they're not at school at all. The next few weeks, they may be on a 2-day schedule and some at home. And then it's also evolved into them being at school 5 days a week and then some at home. But still, at the end of the day, the common denominators that we must educate them. That is our job, and we must prepare them with the adequate skills so that they will be successful when they leave our school walls. So what that looks like at Swansea High School, that looks like doing all that we can to engage our students. That means that we have not moved away from providing a sound curriculum. That means what students should know and be able to do at the high school level. We have standards that we still adhere to. We build lessons around those. What's unique is the delivery, is that we are relying a lot on technology for the delivery. While we know that that also has its challenges, we're having to think outside the box every day, whether we are trying to figure out, well, it may take a phone call because the technology is not reaching those who have chosen the virtual option. It may look like in the classroom giving them extra time. It may look like us altering what it is we want them to know and be able to do to deliver it in different forms. It looks like at Swansea High School, I've had to look at the schedule and embed more interventions. And so one of the interventions that we have is that we've allocated a certain amount of time during the school day, and we call it Tiger Time. Tiger Time gives them an opportunity outside of the 7 classes that they have, the 7 academic classes, just to have time to breathe and just have time to revisit assignments that they were not necessarily able to get to. It also looks like at one point, and you do things, again, in the best interest of the students. It's all about the students. And so at one point in this experience, I realized that, looking at the data, student achievement data, it's not looking like where we want. Because again, we have an end goal. We're trying to graduate these students. We're trying to make sure that they are adequately prepared to leave Swansea High School and feel good about the experience and have the skills that they need to be successful. And so the data showed that they weren't making it. And so we had to extend grace. There were 2 full days that we just had extended Tiger Time. So that meant that students online and the students in the classroom just had all day to just, hey, let's stop, step back, see what it is I need to be doing, and let's do it. And so we support them. We have after-school tutoring because we understand still during the day they're not getting it. I also embedded time on Fridays just for the virtual audience because we want them to have that structure. We want them to have the time and support. And so they were able to come in on Fridays just to engage with their teachers. And we saw what a difference that made. They have not been in school since last March. Right. And so we found that giving them the opportunity just to come in and be a part of the environment made such a difference. And so we keep it safe. That's good. We do not compromise or move away from the fact that we have to social distance, we have to wear a mask, and we have to wash our hands frequently and do all of the things to keep Swansea High School safe.
That is very, very good to know. Every parent out there, sending their child school. That's a different pod, as a lot of us like to say. They're going into a different group and they have to cut back home. So just knowing that the safety precautions are there, the safety measures are there, and even when it comes down to the curriculum, the time is allotted for them to have a little bit more time if needed. So that is so good. So as far as the community, the Swansea Gaston community, what are we doing to engage the community? Are the parents still understanding that they still have the wherewithal to have, teacher conference, be it if it has to be virtual, if not, face to face? Are they still having that option to be engaged and know about their students' learning?
Yes. So understanding that student success depends on a number of stakeholders. And so the learning really starts at home. And I also believe in that it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village for us to do the work that we do. And so while we cannot do things in terms of reaching out to the parents and community as we would in the normal way of schooling, we still have extended efforts and try to be creative in our efforts to engage parents and the community. So we still have an obligation to involve our parents. That means that making them aware of how their students are doing. If the students are not successful, we make more efforts to reach out and let them know that they're not doing so well, and here's what we can do at Swansea High School to ensure that success. We also like to call home. We like celebrating our wins at Swansea High School, so we like to tell them when things are going well. So we reach out to the parents consistently, and we also open the doors for them to engage with us. And so while it does not look like always face-to-face interaction, we have that virtual piece in there. So we will set up a Zoom call or Google Meet just to have that conversation with our parents. Same thing with our community partners. It's very important for us to collaborate with our community. This is our community, and we definitely want them to be a part of it. And so we have opened the doors in a variety of ways to engage our community. One of the other things, this year we have an initiative called Parent Partners. And so that allows parents to come in and engage as parents. And we have opened the doors for that to be a face-to-face interaction, following safety guidelines, of course, but we have done that. And we have just called parents and say, hey, we need you. And I do not want that to be dismissed in any way, shape, or form, pandemic or not. It's important to have our parents and our community members on our side in everything that we do.
That's great. It's one word you said that stuck out to me, and that's obligation. You know what I'm saying? I think it's very good for everybody to realize that we as administrators, administration, regardless who we are in the Lexington School District, or even just school districts, period, we have an obligation. No, I mean, like you said, it's a pandemic. You are not the first principal or the only principal to have to figure it out in your school with this pandemic, So it's definitely, I commend you. I really do. I commend the information that you're giving, and I pray that I'm praying that it's helping someone, when they think about it, hey, I got to be more involved as well. I have options. Some kids can go and get it and go home and just, or play a sport and be okay and be ready for the next day. Some kids, they got to go home and almost regurgitate everything they just learned to try to remember enough to pick up tomorrow to build on it. So we have to consider those things. It, like you say, it takes a village. Each one has to reach one.
Each one reach one.
Each one reach one.
And so, again, and I do not take it lightly, this is my community. And so I feel a greater responsibility and obligation to empower, engage, and educate the children of Swansea High School. This is my community. These are my family members. These are my friends' children. These are children who are going to come back someday, hopefully, and have that tiger pride and live out that sense of excellence and give back to our community in the same way. So we want to, again, give all that we can while we can with what we can.
That's very good. I love your energy about this. I don't think truly being a high school principal is not in my wheelhouse. It took me a minute to figure out when I left high school to go to college. I knew I was going to college, but to say I knew exactly what I wanted to do or be at that time, I can't honestly say that. But I said that just to encourage some student who's standing in that place like, at that crossroad.
Yes.
Where do I go? What's next? It's okay to take a little time, to figure it out. But in your case, you knew what you wanted to do. You took that course, and it's falling in line for you. And I'm just so grateful that Swansea High has you, a homegirl, from Swansea. Like you said, it's your community, it's my community, it's our community, and our makes up that village.
Absolutely.
All of us right there together, we're looking out for everyone. And I think it's safe to say this: the two of us don't have children, but we have the biggest heart for those kids. I think that's important. You know what I'm saying? When you can give of yourself, give of your time, and just know, you're so fulfilled just seeing them I get it. Oh, that's what I needed. A hug, or you got this. You can do this. It means the world. So when it's all said and done, every morning you walk in that school, or every morning the kids walk in that school, what's that fingerprint that they can, with new administration come freshness? What can they say about Dr. SeaWright being there now?
So I hope that each and every day that any student that walked the walls of Swansea High School or the grounds will have a clear understanding and a belief that Dr. SeaWright works every day to create the conditions for them to be engaged and to have meaningful, authentic experiences that are going to prepare them not only to be successful during their time at Swansea High School, but whenever they leave Swansea High School. And not only that, I want them to know and believe that Dr. SeaWright wants them to have that tiger pride, that joy of being a Swansea High School student, and they will go on to live that spirit of excellence that will benefit not only themselves, but our community.
Well, it's definitely there in your spirit, in your look, and everything. And I can honestly say I didn't have you, of course, back in 1992, but I carry the tiger pride with pride. I love me some Swansea, you hear?
Me too.
I love me some Swansea High School.
Yes.
And I love me some Gaston, because I'm born and raised in Gaston, but it's the Swansea Gaston District, Lexington 4. I love it. And when people say Swansea, don't make me remind you guys of the football stats back then. Okay? Look it up. It's out there. I'm telling you. And I think Dr. SeaWright, did your football team make it in?
Oh, we did.
Oh, just making sure. Just making sure. I'm just... Because I'm telling you, my James Cease and my Willie Edmonds, and I'm going to stop naming names before I mess up, and Brian Crowders, listen, the boys were the bomb. They were good. But Swansea, we got some good guys, some good girls, some great parents, and we're about something down here, Swansea. I'm telling you, we are.
Absolutely. We may be small, but we are great.
Listen.
And when I had the decision to make, to move forward to principal, and the opportunity presented itself at Swansea High School, and the interview team thought that I could have that opportunity, it gave me so much joy. And that's why I have this joy and this excitement, because now I have the opportunity, stepping in the role as principal, to reach more, to touch more lives, and I get to do it at the great Swansea High School. I have that tiger pride. I'm not that old. It's been a while since I graduated, but I'm not old, and I'm here to give it all that I can so that I can have that continued excitement, and the students that we serve can too. Yes, those were the great days. You're bringing up so many memories. Oh my gosh.
Speaking of memories, do you still have your high school ring?
I have my high school ring.
Good. So do I. I wore mine today.
And I actually found mine and wore it today too.
So let me ask you, it would be crazy of me to leave this setting and not discuss a little bit of Swansea facts. I'm not going to take you back to 1992 because I know you're a little bit younger than myself.
Just 95.
So 1995, Miss Swansean was...
The one and only.
Brains and beauty, huh?
Yes. Miss Swansean and Miss Congeniality.
Okay.
Proud, proud, proud.
That I did not know about the Miss Congeniality. I think I did know you was Miss Swansean. So what about Mr. Tiger? Who was Mr. Tiger from your football team?
So Mr. Tiger in 1995 was Curtis Harrelson.
Okay. His brother was my classmate.
Yes, Charles.
Yep.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So
and
we are the best class of Swansea High School.
You were the best class in 1995. My class was the best class in 1992.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But
I can accept that.
I think 92 kind of made it easy for everybody. 91 is going to challenge me on that because they think they are the bomb, but 92 is the best.
Okay.
Until 95.
And I still believe 95. was the next class.
Oh my goodness, Dr. SeaWright, this has been fun. You got to come back and sit and talk to me
Of
one
course
day.
I will. Please call me. I
I
want
will.
to have every opportunity that I can to talk about Swansea High School. Everyone at Swansea High School, my team, the students, the parents, I hope, and the community knows that I love telling our story.
Good.
We have a
That's
story to
great.
tell. So anytime you want me to share our story, please call me. And I thank you for the opportunity today.
You're more than welcome. And
Good
if
for
always Accurate Media Group can be a help to you, you be sure to reach out to us as well.
We definitely will.
Yes, ma'am. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. Your support is always appreciative. Please take a moment to like, share, subscribe, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. And please also visit our website at alwaysaccuratemediagroup.com and check out some of our photography, videography, and smart home offerings. And while you're there, if you're so led, you do have an option to donate. And if you have any additional questions, feel free to email us. You guys take care of yourselves, be safe, and have a great rest of the week. Bye.
Bye.